Lord, we come today giving thanks to you, Father. Father, just want to thank you for all the things that you do, Father. Father, we ask you that would you please be with us as we carry on this city business, Father. Father, just ask these things in Christ's name. Amen. Okay, do anybody have, without somebody, everybody may not even have the information in front of them, but anything about the water rates? Do anybody have any concerns or issues as far as anything we need to deal with as far as Ms. Gleason while she's here? You know, we went over already the numbers that we looked at. We looked at number one in one is what we basically everybody looking at. Beg pardon?
I think one or four was what y'all had discussed in the last.
Yeah, we've decided on one and one, pretty much. But anybody, you know, have anything for Ms. Gleason or anything else on the water rates? Because if not, we'll.
Well, I do have, which one do you like?
I mean, one's gonna be fine, they had discussed number four,
Yeah.
because not only are you talking about things we need now, but we're talking about future, you know, ongoing or whatever, but I think as long as we don't wait 11 years to do a rate increase, I think we'll be fine if we go with one and then maybe revisit in a couple of years or whatever.
Well, at least see what happens.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll say this, and I was reading, I can't remember, I was reading something over here in the water stuff, that, you know, if we don't do anything, once again, all this, you know, just falls back to when it come down to trying to get stuff from other entities, and, it make it hard for us to get, you know, any kind of money or any kind of, you know, the funding that we need to do other stuff with. So by making this, and it's in there, it clearly says that, you know, that's part of what you know, they expect you to be doing, raising rates and, also. So if nobody have any questions or anything, concerns about any of that, we'll just move on from that. And, Ms. Gleason, if you need to go.
One and one?
We basically everybody was kind of on board with one and one, yeah.
You know, it's hard to make any real judgment.
Yeah, right.
That's-
We know what one and one's gonna bring in.
That's a place
so,
to start.
You know, that's a good place to start. So if you need to go,
Okay,
you can.
Appreciate it.
And,
Thank you.
We thank you for coming.
all right, thanks.
Okay? Okay, so let's get over to the cemetery, ordinance that we've looked at and talked about. And it's just like Mr. Green just said, you know, it's some stuff in here that we probably gonna be talking about twice when we look at this stuff. But right now, we're mainly, let's look at the pricing that we've set. And in section 7.4, purchase of lots from the city. And that was, any person desired to purchase a lot consisting of one or more grave spaces shall pay the city clerk a sum $100 per grave space for the purchase of the lot and $450 per grave space for perpetual care. And then leaving there, we jump down to B. It's the same $100. Let's see, any person residing in restricted, okay. More grave space in which lots be restricted, such as no markers, okay. So here's what a lot of the catching and stuff is coming in at. So initially, Mr. Green and I had talked a while way back, and we talked about anything there slowing the work down of the city. Okay, so then, you know, come up with the idea that, you know, if we didn't have anything, we went to something like what Rest Haven have, we could, you know, just zoom through a whole lot quicker. Now, of course, we know we're not doing slabs on top of the ground, we're not doing the gravel beds or anything like that. So when we're talking about doing such as Rest Haven, if we're only gonna be talking about doing, you know, like the little flower stand, you know, there. So that would almost eliminate any weed eating or any man on the ground having to go by there, you know, lawnmower just about catch it all. So then it comes to the point of the headstones, you know, and stuff. So that's where we had came in and said, basically, you know, we'll go a higher rate on that kind of stuff. So since then, I think, you know, there's been some talk as far as, you know, it really don't slow us down or, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, now I will say, you know, as far as the pricing that we've got here, you know, either way we go, you know, I don't think we need to be at the bottom of the list for the area. So, you know, that's just me talking now, so I can't speak for anybody else, so everybody else, and Mr. Green, you know, you wanna chime in, let's go right here.
Well, initially I'll say something about the part about, if we just decide to go with not the upright markers, the new section would be the best time to put that language in here. Since it's a new area, we can put that language in, you know, if you start buying in section 7, which is a big number, you know. But, the question that I had beyond that was we gonna charge the same amount of money for cremation? You know, we talked about, we had a funeral spot. Do we pay the same amount of money for cremation that we do for grave where you gotta have a line on the body? Those are some of the issues that I've been kind of running into.
Well, on the cremations, I mean, you know, everybody know that what is the size mostly? Something about like this or smaller or what?
Small, no bigger than that right now. And you know, I was telling you about some of the situations if a person owned a 10 by 10 lot, doing some of that space, you know, they could apply for cremation in there, but that was some discussion, you know, that we were going.
So just while in thinking about that, would we, I mean, you know, okay, say everybody's family here in Lafayette or most of the people around here already have a plot out there and all that. So if it came to a point where everybody decided to say, well, if we do cremation, they won't charge us nothing, you know, basically, or, you know, of course there should be some fee, but I don't think it should be nothing, even they already have that. Because we are putting a person basically there.
Well, let's put this in consideration. If they bought a 10 by 10 area, when we convey the deed, now we convey that property over to the person who bought it. Now, if I'm correct or if I'm wrong, that's what we're doing. We're saying that you own this, you know, 10 by 10 section. Now, you can't do it on a 5 by 10, but if you got a 10 by 10, 10 by 15, or 10 by 20, you know, it works out fine. And the way we have to probe them, that we don't put them out in the middle of the area, you know, you stand a chance of down the road of them, you know, those small cremation urns getting dug up. So that was just some of the reason that over the years that we kind of figured out. But it's just only if the people had say like a 10 by 10.
So what if we said, you know, if you purchase a 10 by 10 or larger
That
plot, then you can, you know, your family member could go there at no additional cost. Anything smaller than that, we need to tack on a cost there,
I agree with that.
you know. So, Ms. Diane, you taking notes on all this? Okay. So if we go with the smaller portion, what are we looking at money-wise? What would we think would be the fair price? Now, remember, we already got two prices here we're gonna discuss even further. Now we're gonna discuss the urns. Now, of course, the urn, it takes nothing as far as what anything else takes. I can go out there and dig with a shovel, I'm sure. So, anything smaller than that, what do you guys say as far as, you got $100 you know, you already paid 100 and either 450 or 350, whatever we do. And so now, as far as to put an urn in there, you know, I think we should do something.
So let me ask you this question. If you got a husband right here, and a wife right here, and they bought that plot, and they wanna put their child in the building, you talking about charging them for that?
For the smaller lot that we're talking about,
They
yes.
already done paid for that lot.
Well, I mean, you know, here's the thing about it, that I don't think there's anywhere, and I may be wrong now, you know, y'all come in now, that you're just gonna do everything and it don't cost anything.
Yeah, but how you gonna charge somebody 2 times for some property they already done bought? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was my statement, if it's 10 by 10,
If it's 10 by 10,
or bigger, then you can do what I was talking about. You know,
How many graves plot can get under 10 by 10?
Two.
Two.
But actually, the grave ain't 5 feet total. So you're looking at about 30, 40 inches out of the 5 foot. So, but right at the top of it, where, you know, mainly we put the cremation, because they vulnerable being dug up.
so you see, that's what I'm saying, a 10 by 10, you can put an urn in there with no problem,
At the head of it.
At the head.
Yeah, you can do that.
okay?
But I think
10 by
what,
10, even if, like you, the council was saying about child, that'd be squeezing it in that hole.
no, it works out fine. We did it several, we do it all the time.
Oh,
And the headstone on it probably be 8, 9, 10 inches, and it's up under it. It's just a thing of protection. But this is what I will say, that probably can clear all this up. The few spots that we got that we wanna dedicate for cremation, we probably just need to charge them as the regular price. We hoping in the next section we ain't gonna have a problem, what caused that problem. You see what I'm saying, about
Mhm.
getting out of line and all this kind of stuff. So as the one we can fill in, it just, you know, it's kind of just sell them as they is, full price. Because I'm hoping we don't never have to run into that problem to where, you know, we lose, you know,
Mhm.
20, 30, 40 spots.
And then, so in the new spot, if there's an urn going in,
If
It
it
can
was just
still
a
go
single
in.
grade, then they probably didn't need
if it's a single grave, we need to still charge, right?
it. That would be great.
Okay.
Just these
Because-
existing spots that we got.
So let me ask you, so if you do a single grave, say there's a single grave here, and there's nothing around it, but this family member, or somebody in the family want an urn put right here. So is it gonna affect, or how's it gonna affect you coming back later to identify or put a grave here or here?
It won't.
Okay. I just wanna make sure that it ain't gonna, one off to the side of one grave ain't gonna affect you guys, that's what you're doing.
Well, what if they decided to put the urn under the headstone that they put? I mean, it's they 5 by 10 spot, you see what I'm saying? What if they decide to raise the headstone up and stick it under there? So that, it's a slippery slope I'm trying to tell you, when when you deed somebody off of a spot. And, you know, probably when they did this before, they wasn't dealing with cremation, you know, it's very popular now, so.
Well, why don't we do it like this then, maybe? If it's already a grave there, a family member there, whatever the case may be, we just leave it alone.
That would be my recommendation.
So then, if a single person or a single family of any kind come in and want to put a urn out there, it's full price. That's what we're saying, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay,
As long as it ain't paid for, right?
Right.
okay,
Oh, it's a slippery slope about something paid for and then you try to charge them again. I
Okay.
thought about that and it's,
okay.
they
all right.
own it, you know.
Okay, so urns at no cost, we'll do no cost basically, if there's already purchased land there. And, you know, even if it's somebody owned it or not,
Right.
because first person go there may be going in urn.
That's good. That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
Okay,
How many urns?
so you can only,
I mean, you can't get it so.
if you got 2 graves there, you could do 2 urns, if you're saying what you said.
See, sometimes what they comes out there, they might be big as this, they might not have a demon as that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they might come a little bit bigger than that.
Mhm.
Sometimes they don't even use a ball. So sometimes they in a bag. I mean, it's nothing extravagant. You could dig a hole
So, well, you know, for us, why don't we just say a 10 by 10, you can put 2 urns in.
You know, if you get it in.
Each grade, let's put it like, or say it like this, each grade space, you can put an urn there with it. Because you can go under the headstone like you said.
But you have to stay within the.
Yeah.
Right, you have to stay within your purchase spot, right.
How much, you need to leave some space between that and the next grade? You need-
It'll be space,
Need
yeah.
a setback?
Yeah, it'll be space,
Yeah.
yeah.
The vault is not bigger than 5 by 10.
Yeah.
So you always got room around.
Okay, all right, so,
And, what's the next one, 5, the 2 grade, what is it, 5 by 10?
2 grade is 10
One
by
grade
10.
is 5 by 10.
And 2 grade is
10
10 by
by
10. So with
a
the
5 by 10 can only have 1 urn, a 10 by 10 can go with 2 urns,
Yeah.
or anything bigger can go a urn per space.
first space.
Now, that sounds great.
Yeah.
It's getting hot, so.
Okay.
we gotta get one.
All right. So now, while we're on the urns, if there's an urn that comes in to a non-purchased lot, it goes in at full price.
I would-
Whatever we decide this full price is gonna be,
Yeah, I would.
okay? All right. So now, let's go back to section A, as far as the purchase of grave space, being $100 grave space, $450 perpetual care. Okay? I think, you know, like I say, now me, I don't wanna be in the area still at the bottom of the totem pole as far as price wise. So, I'm still set on the price we have here. Okay? And, you know, in saying that, it's not to, this stuff is, we gotta think about it, y'all. In order to do the stuff that we gotta do as far as the cemetery, to maintain the cemetery and all this, it takes finances, it takes equipment to go out there and do. It takes time to go out there and do. This, no matter what happens,
Yeah, and you're talking about things like paving from time to time.
Paving,
You know, and all kinds of.
you know,
maintenance.
if you could go out there and have a busted water line, you gotta go out there and start digging up water line. You go out there and say for instance, something happened and somebody had to go back out there and dig up a grave. Now, would the state, you know, or somebody who say, you know, they come back and pay for it? Or, you know, is it gonna be at the cost of the city to have to go back and pay for it? You know, so, you know, I think we're pretty good at the price. That's my feeling. Now, you guys, you know, jump right in and say what you have to say, and, cause I would like, I hope we can clear this up and be done with this by council meeting.
You know how I feel about it. I feel that that's too high of a jump at one time. I mean, I can understand that prices need to go up, but not so much at one time. And I had even considered this. We getting $125 per grave, which I know that's low. You in the old part, you don't have but a few graves left, right? Okay. If you're gonna increase the rates, why you just don't wait till you get to the other, the new cemetery?
Well, I mean, you know, then, I mean, you know, I really don't see, you know, really the difference as to say, you know, the few grade we got left, go on and sell them just like, you know, anything else and be done with it. Once we set the price, you know, just let the whole cemetery be the same price. Let all of them be the same price. I mean, you know,
Yeah, but I was talking about since there's so few graves left out there and everybody, it's just like gas shortage. When it's gas shortage, everybody's gonna be at the pumps trying to fill up. The same way with the cemetery.
well, they've already done that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you now. That's what I'm trying to tell you now. So why are we going up before we get into the
Wait a minute,
cemetery?
hold, I'm confused. My understanding is that this project goes to the new part. 125 need to stay for the old part, and we need to start with the old part.
Well,
We must consider now, we speaking of more than one cemetery.
You gotta
So the
consider
effective,
city
effective
cemetery, too.
price is also gonna affect the other.
yeah, I mean, you know, so
But-
we gonna put
But-
ourselves in a bind then.
Not really, because look, you ain't got but a few more graves. I'm saying once hand is filled up, and you just about to sell all those plots now. And if somebody died and you don't sold all those plots, they can't go over there.
But the price is gonna be set, it's gonna be set for all cemeteries.
For all
Yeah, once it's set.
Whenever you do.
Right,
it.
whenever you said it, that's why I'm
But
saying,
see,
sell the ones you got in handy, And then, if you're gonna increase your rates, increase them when the new place start, that's when you're gonna really need your money.
People have had lots of warning about this too.
Well,
Everybody had,
And, you know.
I think,
Okay.
and look, I'm gonna
But
say
lots
this
of
right
people,
here.
lots of people did
How
jump
many,
in.
how many more grades you have?
Right now, I'm reserving probably about 30, I know for sure that I can get out there. You know, that's, if we just sell up to the max, we ain't gonna be able to, you know, have an immediate debt. You see what I'm saying? If everybody go out there right now and buy them up, somebody's dying in the next 2-3 weeks, then, you know, what we put them at then? I mean, that wanna be over there, you know, cause we got choices of different cemeteries, but, you know, you gotta leave some space there for just immediate death till we can get the other part, you know, fixed up.
The reason I said that, because we ain't, this stuff we still gotta do on the new part,
Right?
I thought we gotta do the testing.
Yeah.
Have we did?
Well, I talked with Alan today, he wasn't quite aware we even had to do that, now unless we was suspected it being a hazardous area or something. or
Well,
like that.
I know you gotta make sure it's not flooded, you know, you
Yeah.
gotta make sure all that stuff is
Right,
correct.
yeah. Me and him is kinda looking.
You have to
Yeah.
make sure there's no gas line, no cable line.
But what we gonna do to have it set and have the rolls and have the little paving done and all that, and you used to start digging the grave and put a grave over there, then we come over there with trying to pay. I thought we were gonna have
Well, we don't,
everything.
I really need the green light for funding to go forward with it, because
So that's
I
what I'm
put it
saying,
in the
you know, ain't no
budget.
use to keep on sitting here collecting 125, even though, if he's saying he reserving at least 30,
Mhm.
plus whatever he's not reserving, that somebody may come up and say, hey, I want this or that. You know, that could be in a total of 50 grave maybe. You know, I'm just throwing out a number.
Yeah.
So why should we just sit here and wait till we sell the old grave to go to a higher price? I mean, once we start
One
doing
reason why-
ordinances and stuff like that is that we're ready to make a move on stuff.
Well, listen to this, let me say this. The mayor, myself, you, everybody helped out a grave over there for $125 because of the
Mhm.
increase in the price, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people
I
don't
wait-
know.
Well, I'm not gonna say I necessarily bought it because of the increase in the price.
Well,
I bought it because that's what I planned for my family.
well, you might have, but you know what? It's not fair to everybody else that don't know.
We waited for months for this price to go up.
But everybody don't
And we
know.
finally.
I don't know who I
Have
got.
y'all
finally
ran in the
just
paper
gave
that
up
y'all gonna
waiting.
increase the grade? Have y'all ran in the paper?
Let me say this, Council Thomas. You know, we sit here in a meeting that we're supposed to be working together at, and you guys keep sitting here and you say, y'all, we're in this together.
Yeah, but I'm not the same, I don't have the same thoughts y'all have about this.
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
That's why I say
you
y'all.
have the same amount of authority and position as us two, Councilman Williams and Councilman Ellis, but you guys keep sitting here saying, y'all, what y'all gonna do?
Different thoughts. I'm saying
And-
from y'all opinion, my
and-
opinion is different.
Well, that's right, I understand that. So, the thing about it is, I think everybody, and you may not know, I mean, I don't know, but you gotta, I believe that 90% of Lafayette know we're getting ready to raise prices.
Okay.
It's been talked about too long. It's been in the paper more than one time, or talking about cemetery increases.
Lots of people have bought up lots of graves. I mean, not just for their family, but for speculation, I think.
But I still say, and I'm gonna stick to what I say, that we don't need to do no increase until that new cemetery.
I think we need to go ahead and do what we have to do.
How much you need to get started on the new cemetery?
That was gonna be my next question. If we could, you know, pretty quickly schedule a cemetery meeting committee only and to get the draft, get the idea, so we can kind of get it, you know, get a draft layout to do the design. And, you know, that was kind of money, do we want to take that out of perpetual care? I think we can make that decision in that meeting, to take that money on out of perpetual care to get it going. Because it was a budget item, so that, you know, we would've been a little bit further on down the road if we, so we gotta get the design and, you know, and go from there. At least we can get the roads cut in now, surveyed, even if we don't pave them now, we can let paving in second phase, but we get the survey and get it platted out, mapped out by survey and, engineering. And it shouldn't take that long, it's just a matter of having approval of, where we gonna get the money from. Cause we got it cleaned off, it just,
Yeah, I know it's cleaned out, but my thing is, everything is, I don't wanna sit up here be doing no phase one, phase two, and phase three, let's get the thing done.
well,
We
that
gonna,
decision
you
will
know,
be
let's
made
get,
for finance.
let's get it done. The next thing you know, we've been gonna put 2 or 3 bodies over there, and we still ain't got it looking the way we wanted to. And if we're gonna charge somebody $300 or $400, it need to be looking right. That's the only thing I'm saying. I ain't got no problem with the price. I got a problem is let's get the thing fixed up so we can put the grades over there. Now, it's time out now. Let's get the thing ready. Next thing you know, we be doing the same thing 6 months from now.
Well, I need the funding, Mr. Mayor, then I'll get it done, you know, money is always the issue.
And I mean, you know, everybody know where I stand, you know, as far as this is concerned, as far as, you know, going ahead and making a move and going on doing what we have to do.
Well, let me put it this way too. I know we control that cemetery. We just can't have nobody coming up City Hall now buying 20 graves or 10. So that's out now too, you know.
Yeah.
They can buy 1 or 2, that's it. But can't nobody come up there and buy 10 or 15 graves.
It's a lot of,
Yeah.
headache.
So that's limited to 2 graves too. So that give us time to get this stuff, you know, get that new part finished.
And another thing I was gonna bring up too, when it comes to the cemetery, this man he got a lot on him. I mean, I saw the stuff that he have to do. He got paperwork, he filing, he trying to keep everything organized, and
Along with
sometimes
all
he
his
have
other jobs.
yeah, along with his other job. Then he got 2 or 3 families out there waiting on him. He trying to find spots, so
Yeah.
he's been working pretty hard. He do need some kind of help. I mean, whether it's temporary or
And
full
we're coming
time.
into mowing season.
Yeah.
And with the meter reading, I have to pull 2 guys from his staff for a while, so we can get that back on track, that meter reading situation. So they're dealing with that. So my thing is, let's, you know, I don't have a problem with the price. Let's settle that first. I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem is we gonna charge somebody $400 or $500, what we gonna, the cemetery need to be looking right. I wouldn't wanna pay no $500, then, you know, it ain't where it need to be. If we're gonna make the people pay, make sure it's, you know, make sure the thing is right.
Well, is that a recommendation you think I need to make, or the
Yeah.
chairman of the cemetery committee to the council?
If we got the money now, somebody having another meeting, get the money down, let's get the money out and get the stuff done.
Boy, I don't know, I don't like using perpetual care money for development.
I guess we got other money that we can use, but
We
I
gotta
can't
find
get
something.
anything done till we get some funding. I got the people in place to get it done, but
Well, it depends on how much money in perpetual care. I mean, that's, you know, if you got enough there to get it done, up and going, you're gonna make your money back at the price you guys, you know, talking about, you're gonna make it back.
Maybe.
Well, that's what is the perpetual care used for? What's the purpose of it?
the perpetual care is for the upkeep of the cemetery.
Well, and.
How much, do you know how much we have in there?
It's a $100-something thousand.
100 and something thousand?
Last time.
Shoot, man, get that, whatever we need to do to get that, man, so we can get that, 100 and something thousand.
Yeah.
We
last
got
time
more
we
than
checked.
perpetual care, we got in general fund.
Yeah. Last time we used some of that money, I think when we did those,
Column.
no columns, and both of
Things of
them.
that nature.
I wasn't town doing that time.
Man, that's what I'm saying, let's get this stuff
But
done.
next council meeting, if you wanna do it like that before the design, I can come before council and request
Yeah,
that-
that's what we gotta do.
for us to
So
get
like I
do
said,
the
you know,
engineering,
we gotta get this
the
done.
surveys, get the money from the perpetual care fund to get the ball rolling. We can't do anything without.
Cause the way we sell the graves and people are dying, cemetery's gonna be filled up. And I say within the next month, things keep going like they're going and the way people in and out dying.
Well, like I said, we finna limit it now to, if somebody wanna purchase the grave too, right now.
No.
Somebody coming in buying 15 or 20, we can't do it.
You know, at that rate, they property pretty good.
So I mean, as far as the price is concerned, I'm good with where we are. Let's talk about, the price for the urns. And I definitely don't think we need to do we need, I mean, you know, what do y'all think? I mean, you know, if we feel like, okay, here's the thing, if we feel like, because, you know, you have no idea. If you go over there and put it in a single grade spot, then it's a grade spot.
Yeah. I think just what we just said, if we're gonna do the urn, they can put it up on the.
I mean, I'm talking about without anything there.
Oh,
I'm talking about would just go there to a naked
oh, if
spot.
somebody call me and say, I just
Yes,
wanna purchase a grade spot, but
Yeah.
they just have an urn.
yeah, and I mean, we don't know what they're gonna do anyway initially. Whether they're gonna put an urn or a full casket there.
You don't ask.
You're right, right. So, I guess, you know, the only ones we're looking out for is the one that's already purchased.
Yeah.
So anything else is a full purchase price. So the urns is the same, would be the same thing as far as, you know, not a grave already there,
Great space.
grave space already there.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't think the urn need to take up a whole grade space.
Well, still, you know, we're putting in consideration of putting it at the very top, so it still will be protected with a headstone or something. Because it'll get dug up, there's no way you can probe it, find it, it'll get disturbed. And that's the reason for putting them under there, along with the line of the headstone. You know, ain't never some weedy.
Well, unless we do it this way, say for instance, Joe Blow is from California, but he got a aunt, sister, brother down here, and he been living out in California, and they wanna bury him here. And, they're not in, say, well, no, we gonna be buried at our, somewhere, but we just want him here. So maybe that we need to have a spot just for little urns or something, for people that's,
We do have some areas that kind of shorten up due to misalignment of grade that we can. And that's what I've been trying to do, is use those areas.
yeah.
And, but they got charged the same amount, $125 for them.
So let's just stay, if we're gonna do it like that, I mean, just stay with the regular price. And,
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
all that time, I thought people took the urn home, I didn't know they.
some people put them in the ground,
Some do.
Some do.
some people would put them in the ground.
Sometimes they bury them in 3 or 4 different states. They'll put some here, some there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of it now.
yeah, I mean, we gotta get this ready for the future, so.
All right, so,
Maybe we can do that, I mean, that's just my opinion, you know, I just hate to waste up a whole space just for.
well, you know,
something like that.
you know, and the thing about that is, if, once Mr. Green them go out there, I mean, he kinda know when one's going in.
Yeah, we know.
So then, if he put it in the middle, you know, it could always be removed temporarily if you had to put out a full grade,
Yeah, it can.
you know, there, just put it right back there,
That has that.
you know. So he said that happened, so, you know,
All
we
right,
should be good.
okay.
So-
I'm good.
Mr. Green, you have anything on any of this you need to,
No,
Say
I
anything
think
about
what
it,
I
about
can
it.
talk about is in the old ordinance, I know the mayor gotta go. But I know this inspection of these graves came up. They had that
inspection?
You know, inspecting grave, I know this and that. What we need to do, I think, if we look at our old ordinance, it'll clearly tell you the funeral home is really supposed to be responsible of that. Now, I don't have any problem about going back and inspecting graves, you know, probing it, see if we have 18 inches. And then I think this will correct that problem more than anything. If I go out and inspect one, if it ain't 18 inches, at the cost that it causes the funeral home had to remove it, they'll make sure they got it.
That's
after
right.
the first time.
That's right. And I think the section he's talking about is probably gonna be in section 7-6, down the bottom of the page,
Right.
the front page.
And the funeral home should be responsible for all that, because those are subcontractors to us, to the funeral home, and they should know, you know, you got heavy equipment going over these graves. I probed a lot of them the other day, some of them ain't 6 inches underground.
Well, we need to tighten that up. We need to tighten all that up. Yeah.
No heavy equipment can go over without busting that ball.
Yeah, some of them about that thin, man.
That's
Down on the
ridiculous.
ground like that.
That's ridiculous. I mean, you know,
Good rain, man, this ain't know the whole thing will be.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you know, let these guys be responsible, and don't, that language is already in here that,
yeah. Cause if Mr. Green have to go out and investigate at a later time or whatever, you know, and they have to come back and dig it up, like I said, it's a cost to the funeral home.
But we gotta make them dig it up. Not-
that's what I said, that let the inspection be done after the service. I guarantee you, the cost that it take to move it,
Yeah,
getting disinterment from the health department and the embarrassment of having to move one
Yeah.
by not following the ordinance. And that cost don't be on us.
that's right.
But I think.
When the funeral home had to pay for it, they'll straighten it out.
I agree with you, but there's some legal things if resuming the body that you have to go through legally, though, right?
Well, that's what he's saying, I mean,
Just,
by time they have to
You
pay
gonna
for
throw
all
that
that.
cost in?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For paying for getting it resumed.
That should be on them, cause they know what the ordinance
Yeah.
says and have the rule.
Yeah.
We, you know, we have to remember, we just in the cemetery part, we ain't in the,
Digging.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Funeral
They're
home itself.
responsible for
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, we
But we
just,
haven't held them responsible.
Huh?
We have not
Well,
held them responsible.
that's what we planning on doing.
Okay.
I've been trying to push that enforcement for.
let me,
for a
since
while.
we talking about that, I don't know if we need to put that, I don't know if it's in the old, or, we need to make sure it's in the new one. I think, what, equipment wise, I heard somebody mention that, what equipment do we require them to bring over there in the cemetery?
Well, I mean, I think it's for the contracting, you know, for it being contracted, I mean, hey, it's just on them to what they know or like to use.
Well, I would say this, on that grave not being under the ground 18 inches, you know, not certain vault companies coming in with equipment too big.
That's what I said, 'cause I
Construction
said
dump
that.
trucks, you know, they
I
should
said
be
it
able to,
because, see, they gonna tap the cemetery.
Mhm.
well, they gonna bust them vaults, I'm just saying, that thing, the truck by itself too heavy.
Is there something require like a Bobcat only, or something like that, or something of that size?
Well, most guys that does it have a little small dump bed about big as this table, you know,
Yeah, well, you know.
they don't try to enter the property on something bigger than the flatbed we got, and then you load dirt on it, you talking about 8 to 9 tons. And it's gonna bust in about now, they can steal, but those are the things I think we need to direct to the funeral home and let them know they are responsible for the people that they hire.
Yeah.
So when we find something, then that cost go to them, and then let those people weed out the people that
That's
don't
right,
need to be out there.
that's right.
We don't get in no conflict with them about it.
Okay. I'll make sure.
Some of them come out and do a good job, and, you know, some of them you're gonna be scratching the head.
All right, so anybody have anything else as far as, you
And,
know?
one more thing I think should be
Yes.
in here, and I'm gonna be quiet. I don't think we need to, even in this new part, I don't think any mausoleum need to be over there.
No.
But if it ain't in here,
Well,
here, then we'll
well,
question.
You know,
If they
if,
want one,
yeah, I mean, we can put it down, no mausoleum, I
I
mean.
think that definitely need to be.
yeah.
They
If
take
it ain't in
some
there
room
now, you
around
know, then
mausoleum.
Yeah.
the funeral home tell the family they can get one, then they say, hey, we didn't say it in here.
Yeah.
So we told the family they could get one.
That's
So
true.
everything need to be in this ordinance now.
I agree.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
But you gotta have a lot of room behind it and in
Yeah.
front. So you take it
If
up.
it ain't in right, it ain't so.
Now, let me ask this question.
Enforceable.
Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you know, anybody that's doing that, gonna have the money to do it. Now, hit me now. So, if I really feel like I want it, why couldn't I buy them 2 graves spot right there and buy that one, this one, and the ones up at the top,
That's what.
maybe even one at the bottom? I may end up buying 10 grave spaces to put 2 people.
That's what happened on that. The people that can afford it probably own 14, 15 graves around.
Right, right. But, I mean, you know, now, if we don't want them, we just say no and be done with it.
The language in that new section need to be different.
Right.
We don't need that over there. 'Cause
If
it goes-
y'all want,
that's the ball game.
y'all feel like it.
Oh, I mean, I just throwing something out there. That's all I'm doing right there, was
They
just
really
throwing something
take
out
up, they
there.
really take up a lot of room.
They do.
Yeah, I know it do, yeah.
You do.
So, I mean, we don't have to, we can just put it in there as far as the new section.
Right.
6 or 7.
Section 7, that will be no mausoleum
Yeah.
place there. And it just, that'd be it, okay? We don't have enough space in us, so you put down no. We ain't gotta worry about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Mayor, I do need the chairman of the cemetery to call a meeting so we can go over some of the stuff that was recommended for the design. And then I will try to make a request for funding to go forward. But we also need to have a meeting so we can discuss a lot of other things that, you know, not dealing with prices and.
Yeah, well, okay, but I make sure we get that, y'all have that meeting, but as far as I'm concerned now with this pricing and everything else, we've been beating this horse long enough. Let's go, and let's get this new part, whatever we're gonna do to it, get out there and manicure it, or whatever we gotta do, let's get the money, and let's roll with it. We waste too much time and stuff.
I'll be there asking for the funding.
Okay,
Anybody got anything else pertaining to the stuff we've discussed?
Have you had any kind of an estimate of the cost of all of that?
I think I
I think
put
you
in
did
like
present it once.
16,000, that might have been the last couple of years, but, you know.
Yeah.
But when I
Does
come
that
back, I'll
Does that
have,
include paving and things like that?
No, I don't think that included payment.
no, I didn't include paper.
Like you gotta do survey and
Well, okay.
lay it out and all that, yeah.
Really, we need to have an idea, it doesn't have to be exact, an idea of how much money we're gonna be spending on this. That could influence what we think about the prices and how much goes into the perpetual fund and how much goes into paying for the cemetery lots. Is there any way we can do this with kind of a mortgage? Or we borrow that money and pay it back as people buy the lots?
Well, see, this is the situation with Protect Your Craft Fund. Reason it has got so high, the cemetery budget through the general fund. So that money that's supposed to be used for it never be used.
Yeah.
So, that's why.
Because it ought to be
ended up-
covering all the care on the cemetery, like
Right.
mowing and trimming shrubs and
Right,
things like
yeah.
that, right?
Right.
Okay, and it hasn't been doing that.
No, it takes it out of the general fund.
For one thing, it's probably not enough, because if
yeah,
you're
once you start doing all that,
if you're working on the interest
yeah.
from it, that's not gonna cover it.
Now, still, I brought up about he needed some help, especially right now with all this grading.
Well, I think that's probably need to, just me now, I'm thinking that probably need to go through the committee and then bring it back to the council.
Yeah.
Just
In the meantime, I guess what you need to do is just do a job description so you can have it ready for the committee.
I forgot, I already got it, working on it.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get as much information that I need, so speed the process up, because I kind of gave a warning for about 2 or 3 years ago, this probably could happen.
Yep.
And
It has.
that's why we,
Sure does.
that's why we exploded with the cleaning off everything
Right,
now,
right.
and the purchasing of land. So
Gotcha.
it can go pretty fast if we get that survey, map, planning, and, the roads will be kind of cut through there, but we can,
How many roads we probably have to cut?
same number of roads that's going through there now. Those roads will just mirror themselves, just keep going straight on through.
I think it'll equal down, may equal down to
Five,
three,
six,
five,
five,
3 to 5, yeah.
Six.
We don't want no turns.
Yeah, you wanna keep straight off through the, keep,
And circle around the
Yeah.
back end.
Yeah, that's the better way.
It can happen, we just need to find, go forward.
Well, speaking of paving, I think, can we just kind of do like tar and gravel?
We can do that. When I get Alan with me, we'll get an assessment on, but didn't really wanna talk about no design until the committee talk
Yeah,
about it,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, suppose that,
I think that would still look
yeah,
decent, tar and
it
gravel,
will,
you know?
it will.
Instead of putting some, pavement about that thick down there, it'd be,
One thing about the existing roads, they already got a good base down on them.
right,
So
right.
it won't have to be no base put down on them, cause we
Yeah.
already got gravel been packed there. That's just, a surface there.
Yeah.
Who owns over the cemetery, owns the cemetery?
Good question.
I'm on it,
I know,
I'm on it.
I guess I'm on it.
I think,
Maybe on.
Well, it's parks, recreation, and cemeteries.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm on.
you're on it, okay.
So that'd be,
Mike, there's 2 of us here.
you on the cemetery too? then?
and I know Mike
So that'd
Sherman,
be-
right?
You, Mike, and
Mike Ellis.
Councilman Hunt.
We urgently need that meeting to discuss with things.
I agree.
Well, Mayor or Mr. Green, you contact Mike.
I
And
contacted
see
him a
what he
while
want.
back, told him that we need a meeting, so
Yeah.
I think
Mayor.
I do it.
If it come
I
from
go on
Anchor,
that
it
first
might-
thing in
Okay,
the morning.
all right,
might happen pretty quick.
Yeah.
all right.
What day you want it?
Any day fine, man.
Council meeting Monday, so
If you can get it scheduled next week, sometime, it's fine. I mean, I'll be gonna generate some information to bring back.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you finish doing whatever you gotta do, you let me know, then I say, hey, let's, Mr. Green is ready, got information available. He said these days will be good. You see what I'm saying? Therefore, you know,
Well, one thing about it, this was a recommendation from the committee he on,
yeah.
what name of that committee on? It's just cemetery.
The other day is Thursday.
Cemetery.
You think you can?
I'm talking
have
about one you and Ms. Blackingame and all y'all on.
Oh, the,
Volunteer committee.
yeah, the volunteer thing that we were doing.
You can have everything ready by Wednesday.
Oh, cemetery.
Think, you know,
If he
Thursday
can-
be
if he-
good, next
Yeah,
Thursday?
if he can get it Wednesday, I'll get it ready.
Okay. And plus have that in there too, your
The
part-time
recommendations
person.
coming
Yeah.
from them, yeah,
Description,
I have all that.
okay.
Anybody got any more questions about anything? Need an adjourn?
I know you gotta go with me, so you come bring it safe.
Okay.
Mr. Hunt,
Yeah.
tomorrow you can contact me, or if you wanna wait a few minutes, I got an answer for your.
All right, gentlemen, y'all have a good one.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, for your citizen complaint.
See you, Diane. Have a good evening.
Your baby been down on that,
So when I get home, she'll be ready to get on the trampoline. Ready to get on the trampoline, play with the dog.
baby down.
Oh, she's gonna have to write.
My brother was living in Pensacola,
Zona?
so he moved to
What's it
Miami.
about?
Oh my, that's a long way.
Yeah,
Falls in
so
deep.
he couldn't take his dogs at the time. So I got two big old labs at home about this big.
Deep too, I think.
Oh my
And she
goodness.
go out there and just
I look back and
play
look
all
at
with them. I mean,
real close.
She ain't gonna let it go.
no,
Put the right side.
he ain't gonna want to go when it's time for him to go. He ain't gonna want to.
Or no, on the zoning map, I'm sorry, online.
Let's drop it down right here.
Yeah. This is Stephanie's right here.
What happened, that house that Miss Blessing and them used to live in, used to be some commercial property. It was a group home, it wasn't a original residence. That's why that falls in that pink right there.
No, that's the gas station in Stephanie's that's in the tape. This is the home that this is where they are, right here, that black house in the green.
You make sure.
Hey, somebody tell me, Mayor got to go.
I know.
Give me one quick second.
Yeah, I looked at it online the other day, and it's definitely in the residential.
I look at the,
Okay.
And, you know, we tried to have water, sewage, she wasn't using much water, sewage over there, so I feel that, you know, the city over reimbursement, just, because you can't charge them something that we use.
Yeah, I was trying to get them to explain that to me. I wasn't here. You just see what I'm saying? I'm just going by what they said she didn't have in Mac, and I put that in Mac.
Yeah, what happened was, like I said, she was having some issues out there, and she didn't know, she followed home for several years, you know, she was paying city water and sewer, but she wasn't on city water and sewer.
Yeah.
So, she's been paying it for a while, so
That
you
could
can't,
happen.
yeah, you can't charge them about something they weren't using.
Well, all I know, she been calling me every other day.
And I read it down, and it states that she got 90 days to, get hooked up with the city.
we've had some similar
So,
situations.
I mean, it's every day, she hit me up.
Yeah.
I mean, so my thing was, Mac, whatever, get on and get it to her. Call me. She was calling me at nighttime, 10 o'clock.
We got some similar situations that probably need to be put in consideration. on
So
that.
what
It's kinda
we
like
need to do then?
every house that don't have a service disconnect, I know that's what the letter said, is a zoning violation. But the houses was a zoning violation when they made the ordinance. So what we normally do now, like the electrical, get the power, we don't go around and make people get out of the zoning violation. What we do is the power get cut off every time they upgrade. But in a
So
situation like that, when that whole little block around there was made, the ordinance wasn't even written. But when you go back and look at the history of a housing, how
So
it
how much
is,
was asking her to pay?
I don't know, we got to get with Lewis and figure out what we were owed her. But-
She got the letter, I know I told Richard to send the letter, I know he sent it to me, and I should have read over the whole thing, but like I said, I wasn't here, I didn't know how that worked, I thought maybe, you know what I'm saying, there was something cheap on her
no,
from previous, you know.
Yeah, because if she gets an attorney, it's gonna cost us a little bit.
not only that, the house behind her don't have it. Ain't no sewage, they cost us no sewage back. You see what I'm saying?
She get picked out there.
I'm having problems down there that day.
Right, and they
And then
discovered
went out there
it,
and discovered.
yeah, discovered it wasn't.
Wait a minute, you're not having a problem with the
Only
sewer.
thing, well, I guess the only thing I can do, I can call her, tell her, just hold on to that letter right now until we go back into whatever we need to do.
It's some other similar situation that probably need to be.
You gon' probably talk to her?
Well, I can tell them, I can tell them, but you give up our.
Yeah, I can.
tell them that, you know, we working on it, they'll be patient with it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I thought it had to be concerned.
Let's go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking.
You got anybody in the dog?
Yeah, you know,
Online,
cause she was calling,
I
her,
got-
I told man,
you
get
got
on
a
there,
bit,
I thought, he said, yeah, for me, what was going on, I thought,
definitely.
I was
She-
over there.
Jeff was not paying, you know what I'm saying?
It's 10 feet.
But yeah, she was paying
It's
for a
only
service
about
that she never
it's
would.
9 feet from.
Had a septic tank, and they were charging
And
more
the
than two. The city
But she didn't have it,
She didn't
she
have
didn't have the service.
Right.
If that
So how could
property
we
line
pay,
is-
make her pay for
Try to
the service she wouldn't
See,
receive?
you wouldn't know any of that unless a survey done.
Write that up then like that. If anything, just told her that she need to get on it, then we start, as we got us,
But it
got
be
everything
too-
correct, then let her start paying.
No, but it's not the.
That's all we had to do.
When I look at it a little bit
That's all we
closer,
had to do.
I pick this up and start working hard stuff today.
That was a simple thing to do.
Simple thing to do.
But,